With the primary exit profile set to make its debut in the next 2 years, students are now getting ready for the penultimate sitting of GSAT in a few days' time. On the pages of today's magazine, we provide some helpful preparation tips. Also, a look at government's efforts to improve one of the nation's major roadways, the Mandela Highway. We have all this and much more for you in today's Jamaica magazine. I'm your host, Theodore Henry. We begin with this message.
It takes so long, man. People and places for going, you know. Get them on the urban table number.
Happy and nice. You know how much people me have to deal with before me reach here, sir? You're lucky.
Put 3 bills for number 5.
Wait. We can place me bet with you? Yeah, man. You see when you win with we, you get a little extra. So what you say?
Police, nobody move.
Illegal gambling is a criminal offense. If convicted, you could face a fine of up to $1 million or up to 18 months in prison. When gambling, choose licensed and registered gaming establishments. Stop illegal gambling now. Call Crime Stop at 311 to report illegal gambling. You don't have to give your name. A message from the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Commission.
Good day, I'm Lorraine Mendez and this is your JIS News for Tuesday, March 7. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says government will be focusing on its growth policy to reduce the country's debt. The Prime Minister says growth will be achieved through good fiscal management, eliminating waste and corruption, and the proper management of public funds. He says his administration will also be aligning its tax and growth policies by moving from direct to indirect taxation.
We're not relying on taxation primarily in terms of an increase, but in terms of a deeper transformation of taxation to support economic growth, secure fiscal revenues, and by extension, give us a more stable platform on which to bring down the trajectory of debt.
Mr. Holness was speaking at a recent IMF press conference. He reiterated his administration's commitment to the reform of the public pension system, which will be done in a cooperative and inclusive way.
We will intensify our outreach and dialogue and cooperation with our partners in the union so that we can reach a solution in Jamaica's best interest.
Government has signed a memorandum of understanding with Health City Cayman to provide life-saving heart surgery for patients at the Bustamante Hospital for Children. On Friday, Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton visited the hospital to meet with children selected for surgery. He also met with Health City Cayman CEO Dr. Shandy Abraham.
And it's a commitment that we appreciate, certainly the Jamaican government, the Bustamante Hospital for Children, all of us appreciate. And most of all, the parents, it's a major contribution to the quality of your life, your family, and of course the child who has benefited.
Education Minister Senator Ruel Reid says government has redoubled its efforts to improve passes in mathematics at the Caribbean Secondary Education Certificate CSEC level. Minister Reid says support is provided through camps and the deployment of tutors to serve 4,000 students in 118 secondary schools. Teachers are also targeted with 70 math coaches being deployed to the school system and the provision of 200 scholarships to student teachers pursuing degrees in secondary math education.
We have trained an additional 150 new principals and HOD in mathematics in the Leadership of Mathematics program, developed and implemented as a partnership between the National Math Program and NCEL. Success in today's world is integrally linked to competency in mathematics. Jamaica cannot afford to fall behind. We have to keep up, if not strive to get ahead of the curve.
Minister Reid was speaking at Monday's launch of Mathematics Week at the Mona Visitors Lodge. Nisha Grant Lawrence of Crescent Primary School in St. Catherine was named National Mathematics Teacher of the Year 2017 at the event. National Mathematics Week is being observed from March 5 to 10 and will include roadshows and the 5th staging of Math Expo on March 9 at the UWI Mona campus. And finally, massage therapist Simone Folks of Sandals Royal Plantation and Couples Sanssouci won the coveted National Champion Awards in the Tourism Service Excellence Program TSEP. Miss Folks and Couples Sanssouci won in the individual and organization categories at Saturday's TSEP Awards, put on by the Tourism Product Development Company. The winners were selected from a group of 9 of the island's top tourism workers and 10 leading organizations. Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett exalted workers, saying they were the foremost reason that visitors keep coming to Jamaica.
I am satisfied that more than 60% of the value of the experience of every visitor to this destination is about service. And because I know that the most iconic attraction that Jamaica has is its people.
The TSEP Awards has returned after a 4-year absence. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Lorraine Mendez. Thank you for watching.
We Jamaicans are a hard-working set of people, and we at the JIS know this. That's why after a hard day's work, you can simply pop onto our website, jis.gov.jm, and be in the know with government news and information. JIS, your information hub.
Jamaica's development as an independent country means that we have to take responsibility for our fiscal management, with or without the IMF.
You're watching Jamaica House Weekly. I'm Carrie-Ann Smith. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says his government is committed to maintaining prudent fiscal management of the country's economy. He was speaking during a joint press conference with the International Monetary Fund at Jamaica House on Friday. The media briefing followed the IMF team's 2-week visit to review Jamaica's performance under the precautionary standby agreement for the period ending December 31, 2016.
We are very happy that we have emerged positively from the review. But I want the nation to still maintain a level of sobriety, that we are not yet out of the woods, and fiscal discipline must be maintained. This, for one, means that the government has to increase its monitoring, intelligence and surveillance over public bodies, for example. We need to be scouting the international and local environment for future threats that may emerge and create fiscal surprises to the government.
At Friday's press conference, it was announced that Jamaica stood to gain access to an additional $170 million once the IMF Executive Board approves the first quarter review of the standby arrangement. It means Jamaica would have access to a total of $574 million for drawdown as needed. Earlier in the week, Prime Minister Andrew Holness focused his attention on the housing sector, breaking ground for 37 serviced lots at Mary's Field in St. Catherine. Infrastructure for the NHT development will be completed within the year and will cost potential buyers $2.7 to $3 million per lot. While commending the NHT for its work in the housing sector, the Prime Minister called on the agencies to step up its delivery of houses to stem informal settlements.
The NHT has to build out the lands that it owns to attract people who live in some of these informal settlements. Some of them have managed to get jobs, some of them are doing their own business, some of them really are very ambitious and want to leave. You have to give them the opportunity.
In the meantime, it has been revealed that the institutional review of the NHT, ordered by the Prime Minister, is almost complete. Pointing to its importance, Mr. Holness says that in the past, reserve funds from the NHT have been used to boost other sectors and not for housing development purposes, a reality he wants to change.
The directive to the board is to build house. If the NHT was building house, there would be no reserves to take. So use the reserve to build house.
Security was also on Prime Minister Holness's agenda. On Tuesday, he witnessed the naming and commissioning of 2 new JDF County Class Patrol vehicles at Port Royal. The HMJS Cornwall and the HMJS Middlesex are expected to increase the Coast Guard's protection of the island's maritime borders.
This is a significant step as part of Jamaica's integrated and comprehensive set of measures and actions to significantly and sustainably reduce crime in our country.
Also in the week, the Prime Minister expressed his support for dancehall, calling it a national asset with great economic potential.
The music had such a powerful reach that if that music were to start to project Jamaica along the right path and influence the youngsters along in the right path, can you imagine how our economy would grow?
And the Prime Minister said there would be a review of current laws to align with the government's push for an entertainment economy.
We are going to review the entertainment laws to ensure that we provide and designate places where you can keep your entertainment, providing you observe the law.
Prime Minister Holness was speaking Wednesday at the closing ceremony for a culinary skills training program for residents of Olympic Way. On Friday, Mr. Holness was celebrating champions of the Guardian Life Group at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel. The company's top performance for 2016 were rewarded at the awards ceremony.
Profile continues to show us countless examples of extraordinary achievement. I agree with Ian saying that Profile has become an institution synonymous with excellence and the promotion of our best selves.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness toasting veteran journalist Ian Boyne, whose program Profile celebrated 30 years of excellence on Tuesday. The Prime Minister closed out his week on Saturday, meeting with Mayor Richard Thomas of Mount Vernon, New York. The two spoke of trade and business opportunities between Jamaica and the U.S. city, which has a vibrant Jamaican diaspora. And that's how we close out Jamaica House Weekly. Do join us next time for the latest news coming out of the office of the Prime Minister.
Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, available online. JIS is everywhere.
No, son. A verb is an action word.
Parents need to become more involved in their children's education.
Parents are the first and in many cases the most important teachers.
Read with your children. Review their schoolwork. Visit their school.
Tapping and rapping and slapping, I said.
Nice. High five.
Woo! A good education will never decay.
The cohort of students sitting this year's Grade 6 Achievement Test is one of the last group of youngsters who will take the exam before it's replaced by the primary exit profile. PEP will be introduced in 2019, but right now it's time to get ready for GSAT 2017. We have some tips that should help you prepare.
It's that time again when thousands of youngsters across the island are in high preparation for the Grade 6 Achievement Test, GSAT. Last year this time, young Jonathan Morgan, while at Hosanna Preparatory in St. James, was putting in last-minute work in order to be ready. Well, it paid off. He scored 100% in all 5 papers.
For me, it was really rough. It took a lot of hard work, and I'm a person who likes to relax a lot.
So, for someone who likes to chill out, what strategies did Jonathan use to come out on top?
Studying for me was about finding the right studying method. So what I would normally do is, when I come home from school, just read over my notes a couple times. I would most times read it aloud because I'm primarily an auditory learner. So I would read it aloud first, then explain it to myself mentally, and then explain it out loud, and that would help a lot.
As an auditory learner, or one who learns best by listening, that was Jonathan's approach to studying at home. What strategies did he use in the classroom?
So, as an auditory learner, one of the main things that I had to do was pay attention in class, because I could just pay attention in class and was able to do well on a test that we had. I didn't really, reading, I'm not a person who likes to read. I prefer someone reading to me.
We caught up with another top GSAT performer for 2016, Jessica Sims, a former student of St. Richard's Primary. She found out that her learning style was mostly kinesthetic. That is, she learned best while carrying out physical activities.
I learn faster while moving around. So sometimes I sketch and I learn faster by doing that. The most important thing to do is use a highlighter when studying to highlight keywords in your studies or book. I also made side notes, like to summarize everything. Sometimes I twirl my hair and I'm more engrossed in my studies when I do that. And I also made a schedule per week.
If you'd like to know your learning style and the corresponding study tips, check out websites such as learning-styles-online.com. Now, once you've identified which studying style suits you, it is important to practice constantly, especially for subjects like math.
Math wasn't really a problem for me, but some topics, like especially fractions, I've had problems with fractions ever since I was in grade 1. Fractions have been giving me problems, but I had to keep on practicing it and practicing it and practicing it until I got it right. And also, one of the problems that I had is that I didn't know my timetables, and it was hard for me to learn my timetables. The method that worked for me is that I had to keep on saying it over and over again until the sound got stuck in my head, and that helped me with everything. Everything just fell in place once I knew my timetables.
I got familiar with the math principles for profit and loss. Also, I studied very hard and practiced the principles.
But as everything else in life, balance is important.
When I came home from school, I took about an hour just to relax. An hour just to relax. After that, I would start my homework and probably take a break after. When I'm finished with my homework, take a break to eat and then relax again. After that, I would probably study, but I don't like to study for more than 2 hours. So yes, I wouldn't recommend studying for longer periods than that without taking a break. And I always try and get about 7 to 8 hours of sleep.
While teachers have an important role to play in getting youngsters prepared for the exams, parents are also integral.
They need to supervise their children as closely as possible and work along with them and keep in touch with the teacher. The teacher-parent relationship is very good, so they have to keep in touch with the teacher as well.
My parents were very supportive. My parents, I consider myself a very lazy person, so my parents were always there to get me back into line and say, okay, Jonathan, yes, you have to do this. And they were always there in case I didn't understand the topic. They would always try their best to explain it to me. And they would always tell me that only my best is good enough. And they would say that I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me.
On the night before the exam, what should you as a GSAT student be doing? Believe it or not, experts say that's not the time to be studying.
The night before exam, I would advise them to just relax, watch movie or something like that, play their favorite game, just relax.
Right now you're just preparing mentally. You need to be as calm as you can. Just always remember that just do your best. Only your best is good enough.
On the day of the exam, here are some helpful tips.
Check over, recheck, check again. That's when you're going to see the mistakes that you made. That's when you're going to think twice about the answer that you put down.
Time management is very important. And also the proper nutrition is also important. I would advise parents do not give them things like soda to drink. It is not healthy.
I stayed calm. I would breathe that deeply.
So there you have it. You can master GSAT. It's just a healthy mix of applying the study style that suits you best, practice, balance work with play, and on exam day, check your work carefully. But the most important takeaway is to remain calm. Just give it your best.
On our roads, remember, take time, be courteous, drive good, walk good. Part of keeping our roads safe is ensuring the vehicles we drive are mechanically safe, meeting all roadworthy requirements. And besides that, we must be good drivers and avoid risk-taking and sensation-seeking behaviors which are prone to causing road crashes.
As part of government's ongoing efforts to make life easier for the motoring public, the Mandela Highway, which links Kingston with the northern and western parts of the island, is being widened. Let's get an update on the work being done on this important roadway.
Transformation of the Mandela Highway into a more efficient and safe motorway is important to the country's economic development.
Persons will be able to get to work feeling more energized. They'll be able to get to work earlier. There should be a reduction in the loss of productive time. Fuel is not produced here in Jamaica. It is something that we have to spend foreign exchange to purchase. And so if vehicles become more fuel efficient in terms of being able to get to from point A to point B that much quicker, then that should also redound to the benefit of the country generally, because we'll be able to reduce our fuel bill.
Mandela Highway is one of the main arterial links between the Kingston metropolitan area, where industrial activities are more robust, and the northern, western, and southern sections of the island. Statistics collected in 2015 show that it carries 1.5 times more traffic than any other road on the island. Widening and improvement of the road takes into account current traffic flow and future demands that will be driven by the real estate and commercial investments being targeted by the government.
There is the plan to implement the Caymanas economic zone development, and so this structure will facilitate all of these.
The current upgrading work focuses on 3.6 kilometers of road between the 6 miles overpass bridge and the off-on-ramp to the Highway 2000 east-west corridor. The construction is being carried out by China Harbour Engineering Company Czech under a $64 million contract. It's part of the major infrastructure development project that's being financed through a concessionary loan from the government of China. The contract to widen and upgrade Mandela Highway was signed in July 2016, and work started a month later. When it's completed in 24 months, the number of lanes should be increased from 4 to 6, and the road will be lifted in some sections. In addition, the eastbound ramp to Washington Boulevard will be increased to 2 lanes, up from the current single lane.
We are building 3 bridges. We are also going to be putting in an overpass bridge to facilitate especially the students who attend the Heidel group of schools.
A new bridge is also being constructed over the Fresh River, and the Dehaney River box culvert is being upgraded. The median, as people now know it, will be replaced by a solid Jersey barrier. In a swampy area referred to as Ferry that's prone to flooding, construction similar to that used on the Portmore Toll Road is being employed.
It is soil nourishing. We are putting in some 45,000 of these. They'll act as piles on which the embankment will sit. So you'll see the machines doweling into the ground, picking up the soil, which is then mixed with the cement, which is then poured back into these holes. and it will harden, and what you'll have is the area will become like a bedrock in those areas.
Asphaltic layer will then be placed on top of the base material of marl and crushed stone. A service road is also being provided on the northern side of the highway from the Ferry Police Station to the 6 miles JPS Transformer Station and will be connected to the main road via a partial diamond exchange overpass bridge. This service road will have 2 3.5-meter lanes and sidewalks and will be designed to have access from several locations along the Mandela Highway. This is to give safe access to motorists and pedestrians from the adjacent developments. Some level of shifting or changes to the flow of traffic is expected during construction to allow for the work to be completed. The traffic management plan includes constructing temporary lanes from Highway 2000 to Hydel. Traffic will be shifted to the southern side temporary lanes while the northern side is worked on. And in the vicinity of Hydel, Kingston-bound traffic will cross over the median to the northern temporary lanes. In the vicinity of the new overpass bridge, traffic will travel on temporary lanes on either side. A temporary ramp will be constructed in the vicinity of 6 miles, which will be used by Washington Boulevard and Spanish Town Road traffic, while the existing ramp is under construction. When the northern side is completed, 4 lanes of traffic will be transferred to the north so that construction can take place on the south lanes. During construction of the southern box culvert at 6 miles, Spanish Town Road traffic will be transferred to the median, and traffic will be shifted to the designated lanes on the new Mandela Highway when the southern lanes are completed. Based on the design, the road is to last for at least 20 years before any major work may be required.
We expect that at the end of the process, all will be comfortable and most, if not all persons, will be very happy with the product that we'll be delivering.
A second phase is in the making.
The government is thinking of another phase to continue the development all the way to the Old Harbour Road roundabout. And so those works that you would have seen, those are preliminaries with a view to coming up with an appropriate design, which will then be costed, and the government will then make a decision as to the way forward.
Another major infrastructure transformation, enabling efficient and reliable movement of people and goods, and setting the foundation for social and economic growth.
This brings us to the close of Jamaica Magazine for today. Keep informed on happenings in Jamaica by visiting our website at jis.gov.jm and do stay connected with us on our various social media platforms. I am Theodore Henry. Join us on this station same time tomorrow for another Jamaica Magazine feature.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.